for you, and nothing shall distract. Amen. So when God gave me to this day's sermon, tonight's sermon, this last word for 2021, Reverend Cheryl emailed me back and said, "It's going to be a treat to see what you do with this, because for Mother's Day last year, Psalms 23 and 5 was used. And the context in that particular sermon was don't drown in your overflow." Hello, somebody? And Psalms 23 and 5 might, by its weight, be the strongest scripture in the Bible. Why do I dare make that possible exaltation? Because in one verse, it says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. You anoint my head with oil, and my cup runs over." All of that's in that one verse. Your whole blessing, your whole purpose, power, and point can be unpacked there, right? So we've already gone to the don't drown in your overflow. So let's go to this first part. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Hello, somebody? So when God gave me this word, God is my church folk, you don't know this, Frank. You don't know this, brother minister. But God will give me a word. Here, let's work with this. And this year, God said, here, prepare. And you know, when you're coming into New Year's, into new seasons, trying to find new ways forward, we like the word prepare, you know, because to prepare, by definition, is to make something ready for use or consideration. That sounds like a good coming out of the year, going into the new year kind of a word, like a kind of a theme. It sounds good, right? But God said, now, boy, where you at? Because that's not how Kevin does stuff. And I was like, really, God? So God said, so take the word and let's work with it. Let's do what Kevin with. Because prepare, what might by its definition say, to make ready for use or consideration. Hello, somebody? But, somebody say but. If you take the word prepare and go to its root word, hello, somebody, with pre, just being in advance, then pair becomes imperative. You understand? It becomes important. It becomes the things you focus on. Because to pair, hello, somebody, is to cut down, trim, or reduce. So God said, what I need you to understand that is about to happen is I am preparing you. Got it? What I'm about to do in this season is cut away some stuff. So that job that you were attracted to because of money, but not passion. That relationship that was attached to not being single and not a whole lot of joy or happiness. That thing you were holding on to because you were afraid that without it you would be nothing and have nothing. I'm cutting that away. I'm reducing that access. I'm trimming away some people, some places, some things, and some thinking. I am preparing you. This word tonight is prepped and prepared. I want you to receive. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemy. When God took me there, God talked about the fact that there's a pairing that has to be done. And when you're pairing, if you're talking about tables, if you're talking about food, anybody here consider themselves a reasonably good chef, a reasonably good cook, a reasonably good burner in the kitchen area? When you're pairing, there is stuff in the preparation of the meal that has to be cut away. Because when it was on the thing, its being on the thing was its full assignment. And its assignment was only to ensure that the product made it to the table. Hello, somebody. I just want somebody to hear me when I unpack this for you. I ain't gonna say it long. The husk on the corn covers it while it grows, and when it's time for it to cook, the husk protects it whether or not it's being grilled or boiled. But at some point, the husk has done its job, and it's got to come off if you want to get to the corn. The feathers on your chicken. Hello, somebody? I don't care if the chicken came out of Trader Joe's or ShopRite, or grandma grabbed it out of the chicken coop fresh. At some point, them feathers got to get out of the way of that chicken breast so you can eat the meat. And the feathers have already done their job. I'm trying to talk to somebody who's struggling with letting something go. God is preparing you today, this last day of 2021, for a new thing, a new perspective, a new mindset, or a new journey. And some things had to be cut away, trimmed down, reduced, so that you could be ready before you know to be ready. I want somebody to hear that. To be ready before you know to be ready. Because when we talk about God preparing us, that's when we put on our saintly suits and our smiling faces. God said, I need you ready before that. I'm preparing you so that you're already ready when the thing that I have for you arrives. Anybody hear me when I said that? So that you're already ready for the thing when it arrives. Let me go back in here because I think somebody needs help with this. You need to be ready before you know to be ready. So let's unpack something real quick. Hello, somebody. One of the things that might become really clear to somebody who thinks that they are in charge, thinks that they are in control, thinks that somehow you do all of the right stuff to put on your hand, the right mask to buy, the right stuff to do to keep cover and comfort you through this pandemic. You do let people in your house. You thought you were in charge. I got news for somebody. At best, we are God's sous chef. God is the executive chef. You understand me? What does that mean in this place? What does that mean? Because what you need to understand that you have a powerful and purposeful task as God's sous chef. You are second in control in the kitchen. You don't get to prepare the dish, but you get to cut away the stuff that doesn't belong on the dish that God's about to cook. Anybody hear me? God said, I need you to prepare. If you want what you've been praying about, there's some stuff that needs to be cut away before you hand it over to be cooked. Anybody? Anybody prepared to lift up their hand and be God's sous chef? God said, only give me the stuff that belongs in the dish. Hush the corn, pluck them feathers, trim away that fat on that good piece of filet mignon that you gave me. Trim away the stuff that is not relevant to the thing that you are asking me for. Good God Almighty, Lord, I know you are in charge. You simmer, you stew, you fricassee, you fry, you roast, but good God Almighty, I have the capacity of prepping everything I want in the dish. I gather the ingredients, I cut away the fat, I shuck the corn, I snap the peas, and then I step back and watch you work. I've got to be willing to be the sous chef and do the work to cut away the stuff that doesn't belong in the final masterpiece. That's my assignment in relationship with God. So when God says, I'm preparing you, God is telling you something got to go. Somebody got to go. Somewhere you used to go, you can't go no more. Something you used to think, you can't think like that and expect the outcome that you've been praying about. You cannot do that. You have been talking, you've been talking through these life lessons. So let me walk you through this so that I can make you understand some things. I want you to understand that a pinch in a dish isn't a measurement, it's an intention. I need you to be able to eye it and tell whether or not it's enough about what you prayed for, about what you tarried for, about what you asked for, what you begged for in the midnight hour. I am talking to you and walking you through this masterpiece creation of your life. And if I'm listening, God will cook it up well. And if I'm not listening, if I can't hear, if I'm not clear my understanding, anybody know that God will clear it? And if you sure ain't listening, God will smack your hand or smack you upside the head. Because we're working on something. We're working on a masterpiece. When you lay this dish out, she's going to say yes. When you lay this dish out, you're going to get that promotion. When you lay this dish out, you're going to enjoy your home instead of just living in it. But you've got to be listening to me while I'm talking to you. And if I look at you funny every once in a while, thank God it didn't cost you your life. Anybody? I just want you to stay with me for a little while. We ain't going to sit down. But I want you to understand that God says, I am the thing that you are creating in me, for me, with me, has my permission based on what I gather into the dish. And it's preparing me, because here it comes. Because sometimes I kept too much in order to have some for somebody else. Sometimes I kept too much in order to have some for somebody else. Sometimes I added something that they like, even though I'm allergic. Sometimes I bought steak, even though I am now a vegan household. Anybody understand what I'm trying to talk about? The ways that while we're preparing the dish, that there was some stuff that was supposed to be cut away, but because we didn't trust God all the way, we didn't cut away. Anybody hear me? Lord, you are preparing me, because what you are about to do for me now, for me next, is to show me how to make a dish of my delights and not a meal for somebody else to make them happy at my table. Anybody can, in the midst of all of this, just have a moment where you remember the time you made somebody else happy at your table? No, let me go on. See, Lord, let me tell you something. To pare down is also to remove things. And sometimes you have got to leave room for God to say that's enough. That's what it means to pare. Anybody hear me? To pare down is to reduce, and somebody knows that somebody, something, somewhere in your life has that got you through 2021 is not supposed to make the journey with you into 2022. Anybody hear me? Most people, here it comes for somebody, are so upset today that we lost television legend Betty White. Yes. People are crying because she died at 99. And said, but she was supposed to make it to 100. We don't know why. We just wanted to see somebody make it to 100. Here's what we're missing. Here's what we're missing. When Betty White turned 99, she started walking into her 100th year. So y'all were counting somebody else's calendar. Betty was living her 100th year and living her best life. And a whole lot of people crying because they lived vicariously and wanted her to live to this great number because they've been avoiding living in their greatness. But Betty White this evening is just fine. Louise Taylor tonight is just fine. This is the anniversary when Natalie Cole left there. Natalie Maria Cole is just fine. I'm still here in the kitchen working on something with the Lord. And God says, I'm going to keep helping you pare down this stuff that you do. And trying to satisfy other people, and trying to make other people happy, and trying to do this. Lord have mercy, I want somebody to hear me. I want somebody to hear me. That here's where you get good. The word of the Lord says, you prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. Let me tell you something. Stop acting like the enemies in your life are some dark and hateful foes who are trying to invade your world like unwelcome aliens. Anybody hear me? The definition of enemy is a person who is actively opposed to or hostile to someone or something. They are actively opposed, which means they have constant access in your life, which means you spend a lot of time with them. They ain't some drive-by heifer. They ain't that coworker you only talk to once a week. It is the person in your house. It is a best friend that you keep calling best friend because that's what y'all were in elementary school, and you're 57 years old. Get you a new friend. Because God says, I'm preparing a table for you in the presence of people who are actively hostile against you, right? And I want you to understand that what God is saying to somebody this evening is I'm preparing something for you right now, right in front of you. Here it comes. To tell your enemy to make a plate, then evacuate. This is your last meal in my house. Make a plate, then evacuate. I'm cooking up what I know you like, because that's going to be the last time you get my fried chicken. That's going to be the last time you get that corner macaroni and cheese. That's going to be the last time you don't bring nothing but show up with 8 pieces of Tupperware. I wish somebody would hear me. I wish you would stop looking all ridiculous. You got anything in your life who may not try to destroy you, but you end up after Thanksgiving with none of your favorite meal because they take most of it with them. Now, so we're going to prepare this table in the presence of your enemies. And they're going to make a plate, then evacuate. Make a plate, then evacuate. Get the hell out. Get the hell on. I just want somebody to say it. Because if we don't use this season that we're in right now to get past our past and over the stuff that we're under, hello somebody, we're going to keep coming back to God praying this same prayer. God goes, I don't understand what you want because we've been here before. While I was preparing this sermon, God put a song right in my ear. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving, I'll be a willing sanctuary for you. And as I listened to those words, God said, listen, say it out, Lord. Lord, please cut off, scrape off, peel off, pull off, boil off, bless off, shuck off, or shake off anything that stops me from being in a place where you can not just come and visit, but that you trust that you can live. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary for you. Stop praying these prayers where God stopped by blessing one time and then leave. Lord, prepare me to be a spot on the God World Tour where God goes, yeah, I can stop by B's. I got a room there. I can go by Nancy's. I got a room there. I can go by Ishmael's because I got room there. He got a whole house with my name on it. There's a shelf in the refrigerator with my name on it. I'm not a visitor to his house. God said, I got a spot. If she's sleeping, the door open for me. Anybody hear me? Because what we need to understand is that Psalm 91 says, he that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the wing of his almighty power. And the truth is, if you are a sanctuary for God, then God can trust you to prep and pair off that which is needed in order for your blessings to be seeded. And then God says, I can rest here. I can settle here. I can unpack my power here. I can reveal myself here. Lord, prepare me. I wish somebody would be willing today to say, I don't know what 2022 is going to bring. But what I know is that I'm dragging the same stuff into the new year that I had in this year. What I know is something for sure, and that is this. I don't even know what's coming. I can't even imagine how good it's going to taste after all that slow roasting and basting, and after that top layer of fat is cut off, and that other part that get under the heat, and then it get caramelized, and then the fat good, and you don't even want it. You know that fat piece of the ham that you want? Because you ain't really interested in the ham meat. You like how brown that fat on the side looks. I want somebody understood. If that fat ain't good by itself, that fat ain't fat. You ain't cut it off when it was cold in the Frigidaire. It needed to cook. And that fat layer of skin needed to be taken off so that you could get to what you've been through. I wish somebody could hear me. So that you could get to, I wish somebody who ate crackling could hear me. I wish somebody who wasn't so cute that they ate wingtips. I wish somebody who understood what good cooking will bring. Y'all gonna eat the top part. I want to scrape the stuffing from the bottom. That burnt just a little. That's been through something. And it's got all of the sediment root and turned and cooked. Anybody ever waited for people to leave so you could really eat? And eat. Because God has gotten rid of people that just wanted your top cute. They just wanted your top blessing. They just wanted your pretty picture. They just wanted the Instagram that they were in your house having company with you. God said, you ready now? They gone now. Now let's eat. I'm talking about people who eat chicken skin. I ain't talking about I'm talking to people who crack bones. I'm talking to people who ever on purpose eat gristle. Anybody? Lord, prepare me. Cut away stuff where I don't have to act like people want me to act for them. Cut away the stuff so that if spirit hits me, Lord, that I shout. Not that I'm worried about people who beat me out in the parking lot and go, girl, what you going through? You trying to get up in there. What you not going, I know you're not going to question why I'm shouting when I know what's going on in your house. The question should be, why aren't you shouting? Because the fact that you still surviving that marriage should have you running it. No, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We're not going to tear down lies and tell the truth. We're not doing that. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Because when God tears down foolishness and tears down all of your fear, your doubt, and your worry, you will start to speak truth to power. You will start to come into your house. You will mean it when you say, I told the enemy, get thee behind me. Not just faking it, but your earrings are already half off, and your hair miraculously went from laid down to a bun. I wish somebody could hear me. Black women know how to no. God says, it's going to get a point when I'm making you clear that I'm preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemy. I wish somebody would get prepared for that. Because God says, from here, we're going up. From here, it's going to move fast because all of that clutter and all them clicks are going to be out of your way. Those people who say they believe, but who don't believe, huh? Because when your friends say they believe and you say, child, pray for me, they start texting you prayers. They start texting you quotes. They say, let's get to church. If somebody was waiting to pray for you from last March, this prayer wouldn't have been praying until today. They waited till we got in the church house. If they wait, this ain't even our church house. This is a room in the same building, huh? So we can pray in this room in the same building. And the Lord has prepared for me a mansion with my name on it. So that means I can pray in any room in God's house. So I had to tear off the mindset that made me think I couldn't pray until I was in church. Somebody done realized in this pandemic that you can preach in your bathroom. Somebody done realized that you can shout in the shower. Somebody done realized that you can go all the way in while you flipping bacon. You done had moments in this last couple of years when you couldn't believe that you were talking to somebody and start speaking in tongues. Y'all was just talking, but then you realized you're texting everybody and you hadn't talked to anybody in a while. And you got on the phone and talking became testified became speaking in tongues to anybody. I don't understand what y'all doing. I don't know what you came here for, because I get more joy than this when I'm sitting in my office by myself. I want somebody to understand that God is preparing you, stripping away. And I want you to get clear that come Saturday morning, and that's just in a few minutes, come Saturday morning, God's going to reveal something to you. Now that there are layers of lack out of your way. We limit, We limit God, and then we call it lack. God said, move out of my way and let me work it out. Move out of my way and watch what I'm about to do. Because we're going to go outside and burn some stuff. So I want somebody to take a second stab at what you wrote down. Because if you ain't tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's all God needs. God said, give me the stuff you can't use. Give me the stuff you don't need. You thought you needed fresh chicken. You thought you needed it. God said, but if you're not prepared to pluck feathers, you don't need fresh. If you're not prepared to shuck corn, and that means to get all of that silk from out the between, and you get mad when you boil the corn, you go, all this stuff, then you shouldn't have fresh corn. You should be, no, what's going on with you? The Lord said, prepare me. So anybody found out this year who you actually are and stop faking that other thing? No? I bought them pretty silk robes. I just need a nice terry cloth one so I can get out the shower wet and just sit around. You need that. Got them pretty cute robes to take pictures in. God said, you may come to your own house in years. Anybody hear me? Anybody prepared to get comfortable in their own house? Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. And with thanksgiving, I'll be a willing sanctuary for you. I want somebody to get very clear that the Lord is preparing you. Lord, take it away. Lord, strip it away. Lord, pull it away. The layers and the language that I use to make me not believe, the fears and the faults that I still hold against myself, that you forgave a long time ago, the stuff and the stuff in me that makes me feel that no matter what I do, I will never be enough for you. Lord, prepare me. And before I make this declaration and this revelation, Lord, create in me a clean heart and renew in me the right spirit. Because what I've been holding on to with somebody telling me you ain't never going to be nothing. You just like your dad. You just like. Clean that out. Because that's all they had. And that's all they knew. But Lord, cut away the fat. Cut away the stuff of my mama's hurt. Cut away the stuff of my parents and my grandparents. Brokenness. So that I can be the slave's dream. Cut away the stuff in me that made me think that because I'm past 40, past 50, I can't keep dreaming a dream that won't leave me alone. Lord, prepare me, because I feel like you're going to do it in 2020. I don't know if it's going to be March, April, or May. I don't know if it's going to be late in the September hour, but I believe you're going to do it, and I trust you so much that you can prepare me now. Because I would rather, be loved. I would rather, wait a minute, how the quote go? I would rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I am not. People come to your house because you got to find liquor. People come to your house because you always going to make sure they leave with a goodie bag and a gift. And they rob you of so much more than just your food. Anybody? Lord, prepare me. Because I want to go forward and I want to go lighter. I want to go forward and I want to go lighter. Somebody say it with me. I want to go forward and I want to go lighter. Lord, I'm prepared today to go on the trip of my lifetime, and I only want to carry on. Huh? Anybody hear what I just said there? Lord, I'm prepared to go on the trip of my life, and I only want to carry on. Huh? I only want to walk through spaces and people go, where are you luggage, child? I don't need nothing. Where I'm going, I already got. All I need is to carry on. The Lord said, let's go. All I need is a toothbrush. Anybody hear me? The Lord said, well, I'm taking you. All you need is some clean drawers. And he only needs clean drawers because you pick him. Lord, give me over my labels and my labels. Give me over my stuff and my stuff. Because I'm prepared to go into this new year, this new season. Let's go. Let's put your coat on. Let's get ready to go outside. Somebody grab something. Let's walk these people out. Because what I'm about to burn and what I'm about to build are more related than I realize. Huh? They do that now when you watch some of these home decorating shows that take out the fire and burn the wood so that it can have the effect that only time and wisdom could have given it before. But somebody figured out how to pare down the stuck and the stuff so that they can make the wood be now what time used to own. Somebody's child is smarter than you now. And they're going to teach you how to take that little bit of retirement you got and put it in some trays. And your 4,000 going to become 400. I'm just saying that. Somebody's child smarter than you. Ask me how I know my silver brigade. I'd like to do a piece of it. And my $100 is now $4,427.16 since August. Okay. Lord, prepare me. I just want to be used. I just want to be used. Let's be honest. Who got a lighter? And now that you need time, you got time. So I pray God, somebody will receive this day that this is your threshold floor. This is your moment. This is the day that the Lord has made. Your assignment is to rejoice and be glad in it. Your assignment is to let go of trusting that what God is doing is literally and simply pulling away fat, pulling away excess, pulling away stuff that got too much of your time, effort, and energy. This is your old stuff. Let it burn. This is your old fear, your old doubt, your old debt. Let it burn. Worry no more, huh? About what God can do. Shout about what God is about to do. And you got to trust God, trusting I don't know what that is. If you understand what it means to not know what God is doing, you'll understand how you can wake up and be excited about a sunrise more beautiful than you've ever witnessed in your life, because you know God was going to do that. I remember the morning I woke up and didn't know that navy and magenta could be in the sky. I took pictures of it because I was like, no, this is just sunrise this morning. We missed it because we thought it was supposed to be yellow in a circle and it was cascading across the sky. God is about to do stuff for you with you in mind when you make room. God is preparing, preparing, huh? Might not happen to your birthday. Might happen January 2nd. But God is preparing you now. Because what's to come is better than what has been. It has burned. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. 4, 3, 2, Happy New Year.